Today we're going to go over how to make a landing page using Figma Make, and I'll be going over some prompt strategies as well. So I already have a web page that I started, but I want to add a landing page. Now, one thing to remember is if you start a new Figma Make project, trying to combine two Figma Make projects is very difficult. So I recommend, if you have a main project, to continue working in that for your other pages. So I'm asking it to create a new page called Get the Goods. Okay, so here are my prompts. I asked it to create a new landing page called getthegoods.html. It will be linked from the navigation title Get the Goods. There should be a form on the right side taking up 30% of the page. The form should have the following fields, and the button at the bottom should say Give me the goods. Create a background gradient that goes from this color to this color. Then on the left side in this font, it should read Get the Goods. Then add an image and copy to the right. So I'm going to upload my image and hit return. Now keep in mind you can also add your library of your brand elements if you'd like. Then if you do that, then you can just refer to an H1 or H2 or paragraph body copy, and it will grab the particular styles from your style sheet. One thing I like is checking out the reasoning that it creates, because it does actually grasp a lot, despite the fact that I haven't specifically told it more development oriented language. So it's fairly easy to use even if you're not a developer. So it looks like it did quite a bit of work to make sure that the design and information would flow well. So I'm asking it to increase the shadow on the form box. I want it lifted a little bit more. And then I find the form fields are not standing out enough. And instead of giving it specific design directions, I'm just going to tell it that. I'm going to increase the title by 25. And I'm going to increase the size of the image by 25% also. So I like what it did here. It definitely made the title bigger, and I like that the form kind of is lifted a little bit more. And since I didn't give it specific information, it did create a little bit of a border on these form fields, and I do think they stand out a little bit more. So that's helpful. One suggestion too is the prompts are good if you can do percentages, and I find that easy to do as a designer because I can in my mind understand what 25% larger means. And it also makes it more responsive, so when we get into mobile, it will be a little bit easier for it to respond to the different sizes. One of the things I think is great is that you can learn a lot by reading the response that it comes up with. So, for instance, the form has much more visual presence with increased shadow. The title commands greater attention, and the tutorial cards image is much more prominent. The enhanced form styling makes it much easier for users to see and interact with the form fields. So even if you weren't super specific about what you wanted, I do find that the prompts, you can say generally what you're looking for. More attention to this, less attention to that. Or you can get specific and say, I want this 25% bigger or smaller. So one of the other things I need to do is figure out how to collect the information in these form fields. Okay, I asked it to collect all the information in the form fields and email them to me. So if I wanted to add some type of a shopping cart, like something from Stripe, that would be something that I could ask it to add in here for me. So likely you'd get some type of API script or something, and you could just tell it you're adding this functionality. One of the things that Figma Make is great at is adding functionality to designs. So I'm going to be getting these emails through my email server, and at some point I'm going to add in more functionality to this, but this is a pretty good landing page for my Figma Make project. Okay, so now we're going to work on the mobile version, and you can see here there's a little bit of work to do. I'm going to ask it to put the navigation into a hamburger menu, and I'm going to modify the layout a little bit. So you'll see that it did indeed create a hamburger menu, and I like the styling here, and it already has a purple color for the page that I'm on, and the title looks good and it's fitting across, as is the image, the copy, and the form. So I think overall this is a good layout, and it did a pretty good job at doing the changes that I requested for the mobile layout. Okay, here's my best practices for Figma Make. Combine pages that are related into one Figma Make project. So if you're adding a new page to your website, don't create a new project, but go into the original project that you made your website in. It's much harder to combine Figma Make projects later. Use percentages for modifying sizes. This works for both text and images, and it also works well for responsive layouts. Use natural language and learn from the reasoning and results that it returns. You can find out some really interesting ways to ask for prompts if you look at how it's reasoning your request. Get comfortable asking for changes and be precise. Make sure that you are ready for making changes to what it gives you, and be precise in what you're asking. If you want to go back to a previous prompt, you can. There's a way, if you scroll back through your requests, you can go back to a previous prompt and response. And so that way you can try out different things, and if you don't like what you see, you can always go back. Hope you've enjoyed this version of Figma Make, creating a landing page.